Okay, let's start with this. Think back to the last time you were very sure you have figured life out. When you thought, I've cracked the code. That's where my story begins. Life is full of surprises. Some are delightful. Like that day when you went to your favorite restaurant and the waiter came with your favorite dessert as a gift. You feel like the universe is on your side. And then there are the other surprises, like the time when you decided to take a shortcut that turns into a circling detour of every single side street. You've all been there. No matter what, we, all of us, would like to believe we are in control of our lives. I was at that place in my life. My career was thriving. I have a beautiful family. I have an amazing circle of friends. I thought, I could have it all. And then came the moment that changed everything. Just over 7 years ago, my husband and I found ourselves sitting in a sterile hospital room, holding our breath, listening to the doctor telling us something that shattered our illusion of control. Your daughter Isabel has a rare neurological condition. To be precise, Isabel is 1 out of 21 known cases in the entire world to have her condition. 21. Just like that, everything stopped. In that instance, my personal definition of resilience changed completely. Before that day, I thought resilience was about pushing through difficult moments, like moving houses so many times after my parents' messy divorce, or trying to land a good job which will give me my work permit in the UK, or surviving those really stressful days in the startup world when I was one deal away from either success or collapse. I'm Malaysian. For over 20 years, I've worked all around the world scaling businesses. Naturally, I thought I can adapt to change. But this is something different. This is something deeper. This is about facing the unknown, redefining hope, and learning how to move forward when I have absolutely no idea what forward even looks like. Nothing could have prepared me for this heartbreaking moment. But that day, I began a journey. A journey which had led me to create what I now call the resilience equation. This equation, my proprietary framework, helps show others how to navigate through the unknown and hopefully become stronger because of it. The first component of the resilience equation is time. We live in a world super obsessed with speed. We live in an on-demand world where we expect everything to be served to us instantly. From food delivery to same-day shopping to even the love of our life to appear on the screen of our mobile phone with just a swipe. There's not so much room for waiting anymore. But have you ever stared at a clock and felt like time was stretching or standing still? That feeling is called chronostasis, time warps. You will feel that, especially in moments of pain, stress, and uncertainty. I felt that. Hearing those words no parents ever want to hear. Your daughter Isabel has a rare neurological condition. All I wanted was for Isabel to be okay, for anyone to offer us a quick fix, an instant solution, but there wasn't any. So for days, I would go out walking for hours, trying to escape my thoughts. And many nights, I lay awake wondering, what if my husband and I pass away? Who will take care of her? Will she be able to go to a normal school? Will my friends' children be nice to her and invite her to birthday parties? What did I do? Maybe I did something wrong during my pregnancy. I was desperate for answers, for reasons, for anything to make myself feel better. Eventually, my thoughts became a huge burden. I was exhausted, and I looked at my husband and I said, David, I need to get away. So I bought a plane ticket. Like everyone who's stressed, we get, very stressed and we do crazy things. So a few days later, I found myself on the plane at Amsterdam Schiphol Airport heading to New Delhi, where I got into a smaller plane, and then I got into a car. And a few hours of a bumpy car ride later, I checked myself into a very, very modest retreat at the foot of the Himalayas. For 10 days, I did not speak to anyone. I slept on a very thin sponge mattress, and I drank liters of chai. I just sat on my own with my thoughts, no phone, no internet, just my pain, my heart, and But when we stop focusing our attention on the outside world and turn it inwards, a part of our brain called the default mode network becomes active. This network engages during moments of introspection and self-reflection, allowing us to process our emotions and memories. Is essential to make sense of our experiences and ultimately building resilience. In that stillness, I learned that time is not about waiting for things to get better. Yes, my daughter's condition is complicated, but it's not going to destroy us. My life is not over. We can still be happy. We live in a world that pushes for perfection and quick fixes, but growth is never perfect. And it doesn't happen on a deadline. In those quiet days in India, I found clarity. I let go of my need to have all the right answers. I let go of my thought patterns. And I decided I need to unlearn and relearn. I need to begin again. This brings me to the second part of the resilience equation, startup mindset. When Isabel was diagnosed, I didn't know what to do. My vast experience, my knowledge, my education, they were useless. Nothing that I knew from raising my first daughter, Camilla, would apply. I found myself in a world I have never been in before. To be honest, it was terrifying. The thing is, when you have been an entrepreneur, you think you are used to embracing the unknown. Starting a new venture can be both exhilarating and daunting. Right? But now, What do I do? In my startup life, I learn, I adapt, I take risks, and I fail. There is no rigid playbook in a startup life. It's all about constantly learning, failing, adapting, learning, failing, adapting. So I found myself doing exactly the same with parenting Isabel. I had to embrace the startup mindset with persistence, with curiosity, and with adaptability. This startup mindset applied to my business and my life. I actually make jokes about this. Isabel is my ultimate startup. My heart is the investor, and the joy I get back is worth so much more than money. But there were days when I felt defeated. Isabel couldn't speak. She has severe learning disability. I have to learn to communicate and to connect with her in totally new ways. It can be very frustrating at times, but when we manage just to see a smile, it's everything. Neuroscience calls this neuroplasticity. It's our brain's ability to adapt through new experiences. Our hearts and our spirits work exactly the same way. Life is not that different from a startup. We can embrace the unknown. But what makes the real difference in resilience are the steady, small actions that you take while you are on the job. This is what I call incremental action. Incremental action is what elevates the resilience equation. It is the exponent turning time and startup mindset into something much greater. So how many of you here have ever wished for that life-changing moment, that big moment, when everything will fall into place, like in the movies? Huh? And how many of you realize we do not live in the movie set? In business, we talk a lot about disruptions, those bold moves of some incredibly smart people that change everything overnight. But in real life, I've discovered life doesn't reconfigure itself in one big go. There is no magic therapy for Isabel. There is no instant fix. All we have are our chances every day in the tiny little steps that we can make day after day after day that help reshape our reality. At first, I thought moving on would be about juggling my entrepreneurial dreams with Isabel's therapy session. I thought this is something I can do, I can adapt. But I was totally wrong. Because resilience is not about fitting my new life into the old mold. Resilience is about creating a new version that is built on incremental changes. It's like the Japanese business philosophy, Kaizen. It's about small, ongoing improvements. It's not about one big, giant leap, but it's tiny shifts that you make over time that actually transform everything. One thing I would like to ask you is, have you ever found joy in something small that nobody else even noticed? Yeah? I found great joy the day my Isabel tried to cut paper with scissors. This is something really hard. She's been trying to do that for a long time and didn't manage. But that moment, when she managed to cut a piece of paper into tiny little pieces, my heart almost exploded. That is the power of incremental action. So, let me bring it all together for you. Resilience equals time multiplied by mindset to the power of incremental action. Time gives us the space to heal and grow. A startup mindset helps us see possibilities where we once saw barriers. But what made the real difference are those small, steady, incremental action that you take. Those are the things that elevate your resilience. We are here today in this beautiful place in Coolhaven. Just not very long ago, this place was shattered during the Second World War. The devastation here was unimaginable. But look at it today. It is a cool haven. Right? So please pause for a moment and think of one small transformative action that you can take to overcome whatever challenge you're currently facing. Well, you can take more than a few seconds. You probably can use more time. So whatever challenge you're facing, remember this resilience equation. Take your time. You may be learning something new. And all you have to do is take one small step after the other. Resilience is not only in me, it's in all of us. It is in every step that you take, it is in every choice that you make. Just like Coolhaven, and just like my daughter, Isabel, and just like me, you too can reimagine, rebuild, and rise. Thank you.